and welcome to Prime Sports with Mahlatsi. In this episode, we're hanging out with from our Bafana Bafana, Kaizer Chiefs, Mamelodi Sundowns, Supersport, and Platinum Stars midfielder Thuso Phala. He has not played football this year in 2020, and he's going to be telling us about what are his future plans. Is he retiring or is he going to continue playing football? Thuso, thank you very much for joining us. There's been a lot of, I don't know if I can say outcry, people asking what has happened to you. Have you retired from football?
Yeah, well, it's unfortunate that this COVID hit the country. I think that played a big role, in where things are right now. I think that's also what caused me to cut my contract short from Black Leopards, because it was already locked down and I had only 4 months left on my contract. So I decided to cut it short since it was the lockdown. And then, after that, the season started. I was still looking for a club. I had some offers, but for me personally, they were not offers for me willing to leave Joburg or willing to go to the Glad Africa. It was not worth me going there, I think, as a player, solely because I can start planning for my future while I'm not playing. I feel like I couldn't leave Joburg because I want to start now planning for after football. So those are some of the reasons that I'm still clubless, but I haven't retired. If an offer is closer to Joburg, then I can still do my planning of the future being around Joburg. So those are some of the reasons that I haven't been playing. I haven't played this season.
Not having played football in a long time, almost a year now. In what physical state are you in at the moment?
Yeah, obviously my fitness level. Well, if you're training every day and then you stop for 7 months, obviously, your fitness level are not at that level. But I mean, signing for a team, I think I'm one of the fortunate players that fitness has never been a problem for me. So it will only take me a few weeks for me personally to feel like I'll get back in the fitness, and then the game fitness comes while you play. So with me personally, I think I've never had a fitness problem, but obviously at the moment I haven't been training at that level where I need to be training daily. So it's only me keeping active with like playing indoor soccer, taking a jog in the morning. So, but that's not enough. But I feel like if it happens that I go back to playing, then where I'll be playing, I'll have to work on my fitness, which will take me a couple of weeks, and I don't see that as being a problem.
You're saying you don't prefer moving out of Gauteng. Now, what is going to happen if you don't get a team in Gauteng?
Yeah, I think that it comes with when I reach that situation whereby I feel like now I didn't get a team and maybe it's time to hang the boots. I think that will come with the feeling, because football has been my life. So it's not easy to just say you're leaving the game. Maybe if I got an opportunity to be involved in the game, it will be better. But yeah, I think when that feeling comes, when I'll be feeling like, okay, now I'm not getting a club, and I think it's time for me to hang the boots, and then I'll announce it.
You also say that you have not retired from professional football. If you don't get a team in Gauteng, then when do you make a call to say this is it?
As I said, I haven't even set a due date for that. I feel like in football it comes with a feeling, especially when you are over 30 or when you've played the game for long. Because you might say you'll retire you set yourself 35, and then come 35 you're still a regular, watching Shaba now is back, Happy Chelle is still playing, So maybe he planned to retire at 35, but then they get there and they're still feeling good. they're still playing. So I don't think you set a time for it. So that's why I said how I'll be feeling. I might be feeling differently after a month. I might be feeling differently after 5 months. So there's no actual time frame to it. But it's just me personally, and it comes with the emotions. Because I think football, if the passion is still there and you still love the game, I think that's what brings out the best in the player. So when the feeling comes, I don't know when, but when the feeling comes that, I think it's time to leave the game, then I'll leave the game.
And also, you wouldn't mind going to play in the South Africa Championship?
No, I do. I didn't say I don't want to go play there. I said like the offers that came from there takes me out of Joburg. There are teams which are like closer by. Kukunes, there was Six Galaxy, Aropadan, in the PSL. There are teams around where I could go. There's a JTR where I don't mind going to play. There are teams which are around. But then the offers I got, there were offers that were taking me out of Joburg. And, for me personally, it's something where I have to be around Joburg, and I want to start, shaping my future after football.
You haven't had a salary for the past 8 months since you left Black Leopards. And we know that, a lot of sportsmen and women tend to struggle as soon as they lose their income. How did you make sure that you save so that your money can look after you during difficult times like this?
Yeah, obviously it's difficult going even a month without a salary. So I went almost the entire year now, 8 months without a salary. But then my manager had properties for me, which those properties are stuff that they did bring an income, but it's not the money I've been forced to go use. So I had some money saved up. I won't say a lot because then it will sound like I'm rich. But there was money that was saved up, which was my salary. My manager was sending me money monthly throughout the lockdown. In that form, you budget with that money. So yeah, obviously moving forward now, if the money just goes out, and maintaining my responsibilities, I'm gonna take out more than what's coming in. So obviously there is other things that I'm working on, especially with my mom. We're building some other properties also. We're building commune Soweto. So those are the things that I got involved in at an early age. I think that was the lucky part, that I've contained some properties which I have. But in life, especially this lockdown, people have been going through a lot. So can come a time where I can move from my place now in 4 ways and go to a smaller place and then rent this place out. It's also an income, which is going to be more than my smaller properties. So you adjust. That's how life is. Like everyone who works for 20 years, they get to a point where they leave their job and then they plan for life after that. So I think for me, the property world has been treating me well, and the money that I saved up. But I was fortunate that I got to a stage in my career where I earned quite okay. My timeline from SuperSport, that's like a good 6 years, of earning well. So unfortunately, other players, they don't get that opportunity. Only a few players in the country. I don't know how many players we have in the country, but only a few will get to play for Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns, and earn well, for a long time of years, So yeah, that's how football is. That's how cruel football is, because now people have this perception that footballers earn a lot, because they're always on TV, they're driving nice cars, But then that's not the case, I don't think, playing in South Africa, it's enough to earn you enough money for you to sustain that lifestyle throughout the rest of your life. You have kids, you have a wife, you get married, you have your family, to take care of. So yeah, for me, fortunately, that's what been keeping me going. So it's not like that I'm comfortable. I also now have to push my property stuff. They have to get going, as soon as possible. And also, as I said, maybe something might come up in coaching then I have to go, and work. I still have to work, So it's something that, I won't say I'm comfortable. I can relax for like 5 years and still be, no, that's not the case. So that's the unfortunate part in South African football like this. You don't make enough, to last you for after football.
What sort of advice can you give to young sportsmen and women out there on how to look after their money so that it can look after them when they finish playing later in their careers, or if something goes wrong in their lives?
I think the first thing you must tell yourself that you can never be comfortable. Money, like, it does get finished, So the moment you start making money is the moment you must start planning for after you don't have money. So if you have that mentality that your first salary, you're gonna buy a house. Coming to the footballer side, it's difficult like to tell a young 22-year-old that he mustn't buy a car, he must buy a house. He just got his salaries from the development side. He has to get to training, so he has to buy a car. And he won't buy a Toyota Chase. The boy is playing for Super Sport or Chiefs or Sundowns. He's gonna buy the Golf 7, which is like a 600-700 rand car, which is a house. You understand? So it's very difficult for footballers, to not buy the house, and buy the car. That choice, But then it's up to the player, to tell himself that this is not enough. I think that also comes in that once I've got a contract, once I'm earning, once I've bought a car, and I'm living in a townhouse somewhere, I'm okay. That mentality is like, now you have nothing to work for, because whatever you've dreamed about, like that, I'll be on TV, I'll have my own car, I'll have my own place. Once you get those things, as soon as a 24-year-old gets them, then you're comfortable. You're like, now, because growing up, that's our dream, So once you get there, you're like, now you've reached the ceiling. So my advice is that never reach the ceiling. Try aim for the sky, so that at least if you miss the sky, at least you hit somewhere there by the birds. So that must be the mentality. It's a difficult a situation when you're in it. I was also a 21-year-old boy. I was at Chiefs. I bought myself a Golf 5. So that's what I'm saying. Where we are, like the lifestyle of a footballer, those decisions you make. Sometimes like the sacrifice is a lot, because with your sign-on fee that you get the first 3 years, you can buy yourself a townhouse somewhere and let them. Now you have an income. You buy it cash. You leave it there. You're still 23, and you're staying at a clubhouse. But how many players are willing to stay at a clubhouse when you're 23? 23 is when maybe now you're starting to have a family. Now the girlfriend you're planning on. So it's very difficult situation for a footballer. So, it's different than someone who's working at a government. Because even we don't see their cars, we don't know where they stay. They're not on TV. They're out of the limelight. So we have that thing behind us that people know you, they recognize you at the mall. People will see you at the car park. They don't want to see you taking a taxi. So you have to have that car that also motivates you, that, I have my own car now. I worked hard. I bought myself a car, So in our situation, it's more difficult. You must just tell yourself that this is the beginning. Not that I've reached my dream, This is the beginning of my dream, and I must achieve more. You must tell yourself that this is only the beginning. I must go overseas, because it's well known. If you go overseas for 10 years, that's when you can say you've made money in football.
At some stage, obviously, you're going to call it quits from playing active football. Have you thought of what you are going to do after football?
Yeah, I think those are good opportunities, especially for ex-footballers. I would like to be an analyst. I think personally, I've got the knowledge, but I've never been an analyst. So it's something it's a new, path. But I would like to see myself also like advising on TV, And I would also like to be a coach. I think I'd like to be involved in the game. I think there's a lot to give back, to the youngsters, to advise also, the youngsters, and to motivate, to show the youngsters that it's possible. Like if you go into coaching, you're not only there to give tactics, you're there to let these boys grow. You're gonna manage them. So I think I would also like to be involved in that. It's not something that I'm not looking into, because like it's something that I have been looking into, which I'm gonna start soon. Yeah, into the coaching also industry, and yeah, it is something that I'm interested in.
Your career has been, pretty much successful. I mean, Bafana keeps playing in the Cup of Nations, scoring goals for Bafana, winning many trophies. What have been the positives and the negatives of your career so far, when you look back?
That's how it works in football. I feel like you can be a good player for 10 years, and then one article comes out, one bad article comes out. You're going to be remembered for that article, for going to a next team. Let's say you want to make a move. You're going to be remembered but you are this bad boy, what. But they won't remember those 9 years that you've won cups and helped the team, and so that's unfortunate in football. But going back to what happened at Supersport, things were reported that me and management and the coach, we didn't see eye to eye. Things I think were taken out of turn, like, because I never left there in a bad way, and I never saw anything bad like written for me personally. What they said about me, that my contract will be terminated, I must go to the DC. It makes it look like I was fighting with Supersport. I wanted a move in December. It didn't happen because I was supposed to go somewhere else. They stopped it. Didn't happen. So now I wanted to go like in January, and I decided that I want to see the management. I mean, I was at a point in my career where I feel like I could ask. I was not a youngster anymore. I could ask, and like I wanted answers I was not getting. So I said I'll only come to training when I meet the office. So now it's like I was at home. I wanted to leave. Now I'm fighting. Now there was wait for the DC. I was moved. So it got a whole lot of mess. But then I'm glad we solved it with Supersport. Even after I left, I went to go say bye to the guys. I had lunch with the CEO, Stan Matthews, and we were fine. I think that team has been like good to me. So yeah, that's how the media works sometimes. But it's how you handle it after, and how you pave your way after that to make sure that you didn't burn bridges, and you left in a good way. Yeah, I think I've achieved mostly, what I've wished for as a young boy, but you can never achieve enough. I think wherever I've went, I think I want to win. I'm those players, like I'm a winner. I want to go somewhere and win things. So that's what I'm saying. If I go back to play, I want to go somewhere, because I haven't won the league in my career. That's one trophy that I haven't won. The other ones I've won a couple of times, but I haven't won the league. So me finishing my career without winning a league, it kind of leaves that sour taste in my mouth. So that's something which I'm still looking to do. If I get the opportunity to win the league. I always wanted to go overseas, but I don't think that's going to happen now. So that's one thing that I've accepted. But winning the league is one thing that leaves that sour taste in my mouth even now.
Bafana must have been proud moments then. Cup of Nations.
Yeah, obviously, Bafana, representing the country, hosting the AFCON. It was a great moment for me. It was my first time in the national team. Then going to Guinea, scoring the opening goal. Those are moments where I won't forget, because at the back of my mind was like, after I scored the goal, I thought of like what's happening in South Africa. Like I made my family, my friends, everyone who knows me, my teammates, the country proud. That feeling, it's a feeling that you can't even describe it. So those moments are moments which will live with me forever.
And finally, can you please just explain to us where and how did you start this Thuso Phala dance?
Yeah, well, let me say fortunate enough, because this dance has also like opened up other doors for me. This dance actually, it comes from the Val. There's these friends of mine which I usually sometimes chill with, go out with. They used to do this dance from the Val. You know, they know this dance from the Val. You know, so one day I was with them and I told them that when I score, I'm gonna do this dance and I'll make it famous. So I scored and I started celebrating. And then yeah, it happens now. I see music videos now, people posting there when they do this Thuso Phala, you know. So just fortunate enough that that name stuck with the dance, and then now also open other opportunities. Now music videos, they're doing songs with the dance, with the name, you know. So that's one of the things that happened that was very fortunate.